Today we're going to be taking a look at this. This is the emergency shelter tarp from Trailblazer. So I watch this other YouTube channel, Sensible Prepper, and he's always talking about, and that's the reason I say I'm preempting this with that is because this is not my terms. This is a term I hear from him. It's like the rule of threes, which is, you can go 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, 3 minutes without air, but hours. What's hours? Hours is shelter. That's right. Because without shelter, you can succumb to the elements. You can get hypothermia. You can get baked if you're in the desert like me. So shelter is very important. So today, we're going to be taking a look at this emergency tarp that we got from Trailblazer. So, and I'm going to back it up a little bit. So this is my car, right? Chevy Sonic LT. Just so we can kind of get an idea of the size of this. Alright, so it does come with a, I'll let the light catch back up. It does come with a nylon bag, well, polyester nylon, with a closure, so you can keep it, enclosed up nicely. We might have to refold it a couple times to get it to go back in there. And it has a green bag in here. Let's see what's in that. So we have 2 of these little metal stakes, and we have some like bungee type cord, so you can get it nice and tight. All right, they have their own bag. Now then, the tarp itself, right? The reason I have the car here is because then we can kind of get an idea of how much this will cover. Alright, so the tarp itself seems fairly sturdy. It does have every corner has a tie-off. So every corner does have a loop tie-off, so you can get your cordage through there. Let's see here. We're moving over the car. That way I can give you a better idea of actually how big it is here. All right. So it's probably about, let's see here, that's 3, probably about 5 by 8. Yeah, so got the old yardstick out. I love the yardstick. So it's a 5 by 8 tarp. It's lightweight, definitely water resistant. This will definitely shed water. The corner tie-off grommets seem pretty well sewn together. Won't last forever, but I think that in an emergency type situation, this is going to be a good asset. And then if you combine this with, say, the emergency space blankets, right? Because those things, survival kits will put those in as your shelter, and those things really aren't that good. They're good to hold your body heat, but you're not going to build a very good shelter with them because they're so flimsy. But, so let's say you put this up. Let's say you get like a ridge line, or you find like a cross beam where you can put it over like a branch, or a pole or something, like in an urban setting. And then you could actually put that emergency nylon blanket between you and the tarp, and you can make like a reflective shield while you're inside the tarp. Now it's going to come the hard part, because getting these things out is always easy. Getting them back in is always a whole nother story. So let's see here. Fold that in half again. But yeah, so this little emergency tarp from Trailblazer. We're going to put this in with that triple extra large pack we just got. This is going to form, we put that poncho in there, which is good because you need protection from rain if you're in the elements. But we're going to put this tarp in that bag, and we're going to see, because that one didn't come with a shelter, but hey, we have one from SHTF that we can throw in there. Now I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's SHTF, how good can it be? And yeah, this is not the top end gear, make no mistake. However, this might be the gear where you're able to afford to start with, and you need to know its limitations. And like I said, getting these things back in the scrunch sacks is always the hardest part of owning them, because they never go back the same way. That's why those space blankets, they're a one-time shot and deal. Because you got like those emergency shelters that are essentially which are essentially just like a glorified one of those emergency blankets. Those things unroll, you're never getting those back in. Those are one-time uses. This, however, can be reused. And once you're done with it, scrunch it back up. Now, it's not as flat as it was when we first opened it, but as you can see, it does go back in that pouch. Then you can put this up when you're done. So I think it's very important to not overlook shelter. I know a lot of people, they stress water. Yeah, and water is super important. I'm not saying it's not, but you got to protect yourself from the elements too. And I think that this little emergency tarp from Trailblazer, it'll do the trick. It'll definitely keep you dry. It'll keep the sun from beating down on you, so that you're not going to die of getting baked or of exposure. Because if you stay dry and you can get a fire going, then you have a fighting chance. If you're wet, then your odds of surviving go downhill like exponentially. Because then you get cold, you start shivering, your body uses up all its calories to shiver, and the next thing you know, you're hypothermic. You're done. Alright, that's it. This is the emergency tarp from Trailblazer. Hey, if this is your first time on the channel, please consider subscribing. If you are subscribing, if you ever hit that like button, share this video out, leave me a comment. It all helps. Until next time, keep prepping.